What's up, Richard?
All good, thank you, Evan. How are you?
I'm great. What time is it here? It's 7 a.m. We're ready. We're on the road going from New York back home to Toronto, and I'm excited to talk.
Nice. And also good morning to Nina and Danny if they're in the car.
Good morning.
Nina's here. Danny's probably asleep.
Ah, okay. Cool. And I saw you had your coffee, so we're all set.
We're ready to go. We are ready to go.
Okay, thanks very much. So, yeah, my first question is this. Since AI and stuff like this is arising more, how do you see the role of human potential changing? You think
the role of what changing? The role of what changing?
Of human potential, because you said it's
oh.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming. I don't give a lot of thought to the future much as how do we win right now. I think there's still so much. I think there's still so much that people are missing now. Like the first part of potential for me is self-awareness. Is figuring out your one word, figuring out who you are, figuring out what your purpose is, figuring out your why, like all that kind of stuff. Most people don't even know that.
Yeah.
And I think we need to solve that problem. And so I'm not the technology guy. I use technology to serve a purpose. So why this cell phone am I using? Well, because my friend Mark Drager, who loves technology, kept attacking me for saying your cell phone sucks, the camera sucks, you need a new cell phone. Like, okay, on the surface, I don't care about that, but it helps me make better videos. So that helps pursue my mission. So, when AI gets to the point that it's having a big impact and it's touching people, just like future tech, like VR or holographic Evan coming to you in your living room instead of talking over Zoom. Why are we using Zoom over something else? I don't really care that much about the technology, but I don't hate it either. Like, as long as it fulfills the purpose, I think that's what's most important, at least for me. So I don't live in the world of what's coming next. I live in the world of where we are now, typically. And so right now it's YouTube. It's YouTube and Instagram. And I'm sure in 5 years or 10 years or 7 years or at what point, it won't be YouTube anymore. It just won't. It'll be something else. And I will close down my YouTube channel and go do that something else.
Yeah. Because for most people, it's also that they have very little self-awareness. So they don't even know what their thing is that they want to bring into this world. That's, I think, very interesting. And the medium you're choosing to get it out might change, but I think your purpose is the same thing over time.
Well, I think it's the message that is consistent, the mission, like what are you doing? What are you trying to do? As a human, what am I trying to do? And then using the tools, the resources, the people available to help me do it, and being able to, a lot of people are too early on their tech and it never comes to fruition. And then their business goes out of business because they couldn't make money doing it because they were too early. They're geniuses, it's just too early. Mm-hmm. And so I'm super pumped to have holographic Evan pouring into your living room and helping. I love that. That's coming. But I'm not investing much time I'm not investing any time into thinking about what that looks like yet, because there's still so much in what exists right now.
Yeah.
Like I have, YouTube is where I think I'm most well known. I've got 1.7 or so million subscribers, and I'm still getting started. Mm-hmm. Like, there's still so much for me on YouTube. There's still so much for me on Instagram. There's still so much opportunity there. So that's where I'm going right now. And then as those things start to die off, then I'll move and I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah. And basically, how do you see the role of entrepreneurs in this whole thing? How the world's gonna develop? What is their role?
I think entrepreneurs solve all the world's major problems. I think entrepreneurs are the answer. I think we can't rely on big corporations or governments to solve our problems. We solve our problems. And what I love about that is it's never been easier to be an entrepreneur. It's never been easier to start your own business. Like you used to have a building and, you know, a factory and a
Yeah.
retail store. And so it costs a lot of money and staff. Like you can start at home. Like how are we communicating here, right? We're totally different places. We just have our cell phones and away we go. And I think that is amazing, but also makes it the competition level goes up because anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be good at what you do.
Yeah.
But it opens up the door. Like there's nobody holding the keys to your success anymore except you. There's nobody holding you back. There's no reason why you can't have massive success. And I love that. And whatever problem that you see in the world, whether it's, for me, it's potential and I want to see people become entrepreneurs, or at least the ones who want to become them, you know, I want to see them succeed. For someone else, it might be, you know, the rainforest is dying. And for someone else, it might be, I hate plastic. And for someone else, it might be religion. And for someone else, it might be, there's all these causes. You know, you have a cause. Great. You can now go out and actually make a meaningful impact as a single person. And more so than at any point in human history. And I think that's also only going to get easier. It's also only going to get easier to make an impact. And I'm super pumped. So whatever you think is wrong with the world, or your audience, whatever they think is wrong with the world, it's never been easier to be the change. And entrepreneurs are going to be the ones to solve all the world's major problems. And that pumps me up.
Yeah. And how do you see ethics basically for yourself in entrepreneurship?
Yes, a lot of great questions. This is stuff I'm not used to on most of my interviews, and it's 7 a.m. for me, so this is great. On a Sunday, 7 a.m. on a Sunday, get hit with the hard question. I like it, dude. I like it so much. This is a great start to my Sunday. I think with the way social media is now and is going, it's going to expose a lot of people. It's people talk about being authentic. It's going to be hard not to be, because it's going to be everywhere. So it's why things like Me Too has come up. Like it's easy to expose people. It's hard to hide now. And I think that forces people to be good. And I like that. Yeah, I think it's hard to be, it's harder and harder to be a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will expose you. And I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you have good marketing, but you're a bad person leading some giant company, that's going to be harder and harder to win. And you, as a consumer, get to control where you spend your money.
Mm-hmm.
And so as people care more about values, then you get to choose. You have lots of options, right? Mm-hmm. Every industry is being democratized. You don't like Marriott hotel chain? Great, stay at an Airbnb. Mm-hmm. You know, every industry, there's so many options to go to. So you're going to choose to spend your time and to spend your money on the people and companies that you like, that you think are doing good, that you respect and appreciate their values, who you think run business the way it should be run. Now, that may be different values than other people, but you're gonna go and pick the values that you resonate with most, and I think that's great. So it's getting harder to hide. It's getting harder to cheat people. It's getting harder to steal. It's getting harder to do all the negative things that that people and companies have done, and I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, because I think you personally, you're a very kind person, a very giving person, yeah. And the thing is also that's how you probably lead your company.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the common things that I get from people is that I am the person that I am in person, and also on social media and in my videos. You know, whether you like that about me or not, you know, whether you like the person I am or not, I am who I am. Yeah. in all situations. And I think that's how you actually win. I think if you are trying to be somebody for the public, but you're actually somebody else, I don't think you win. I think people can see through that, and I think you get exposed. And so that's why, back to one of the earlier questions about self-awareness, understanding who you are and then just owning it,
Yeah.
just owning who you are. And some people are not going to like that, and that's okay. Not everybody loves, I have a message of believe. Great. Not everybody likes believe.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. They can go hang out somewhere else. We're probably not going to be great friends, and they're probably not going to love the content that I put out.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, they can go somewhere else and find their thing. I wish them lots of love. But when you are afraid to be yourself, then you end up not putting out anything meaningful. If you're living your life out of fear, then you never actually create anything significant. And so understand that there is a tribe for you. There are people who want you to win. There are people who will agree with your view of the world. And I think it then becomes your duty to spread that mission.
Yeah.
I think people are good, Richard.
Mhm.
Like, I think at the core, people are good.
Yeah.
I think 99.99% of the planet is good. There's the 0.01% of people who might have a weird, something happening up here that makes them enjoy killing people. But, I think most of the world is good. And I have a book, Your One Word, where I help people break down their one most important core value. And it's always good. It's always a positive thing. Everybody's one word. I've never had a negative one word. It's never been kill. It's never been steal. It's never been destroy. It's never been something negative. It's always been positive. But if my one word is believe and your one word is grow, they're not the same, but we can find some commonalities between them. And I think that's how we end up all winning. Is you have the self-awareness to figure out what's the positive that you want to create in the world, and then go out on your mission and create that positivity.
Yeah. And how was your process, your own process in getting to the point where you're right now, what you're doing? Like, that's your passion.
How did I find my passion, or how did I get to where I am?
How did you find your passion? I think this got you where you are at now. So,
Sure. There you go. Okay, we'll tell the whole journey then. I had a business. I sold it when I was 22. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do next. When I don't know what I want to do, I just say yes to everything. And I think people need to say more yeses to everything. If you know what you want to do, like if you, Richard, want to be, the next Larry King and be a talk show host and just bring it to a new platform, and you are absolutely certain this is your thing, then you go hard and forget everything else and just like push. But if you have no idea what you want to do, then you need to go off and explore, because you're not going to find what you want to do sitting on the couch. You have to get out there and try. You won't know if you like that girl or not until you ask her out and spend some time together. Like, you just don't know. You can't hypothesize if you like spaghetti and meatballs. You have to try it, and then if you like spaghetti and meatballs or not. And so I don't think enough people try things to know. And so whenever you don't know, you need to go off and try a million things. You say yes to everything at least once. And when you do know, then you get hyper focused. So when I sold my business, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I said yes to everything. One of those things was speaking at a local entrepreneur group here in Toronto. Or actually, I'm not in Toronto right now, but in my hometown of Toronto. And only 3 people showed up to it. It was a free event. Only 3 people showed up. And I thought I was never going to make money with this, because if only 3 people show up to a free event, how am I ever going to make any kind of money from this? But I just loved it. Like, I went, I did my speech, I helped those 3 people, and I loved it. I knew I had to keep going and doing this thing. And I didn't know what it would look like. I thought I would never make money, to be honest. I just wanted to keep going because it filled my soul. It just made me feel so amazing. And that was 22. When I was 22, I'm now 38. So it's been a journey along the way of trying to figure out what's the best execution of that. When I discovered that helping entrepreneurs was the thing that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, then that becomes my mission. And I'm big on having a mission of what I want to do, something so big that I'm never going to accomplish it. And then I have very few goals in between. It's more just, what am I doing right now?
Yeah.
So where am I going to be in 5 years? I have no idea, but it's going to be something awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the approach that I typically like to take. So, you know, I started helping entrepreneurs. I was doing speaking. I have my website that moved to YouTube, that moved to more speaking, that moved to, you know, my book deals, that moved to now doing my tour across the US in January. And I don't know where it's going to go. But again, it's going to be something amazing.
Maybe you're going to come to Europe. Would be nice.
Maybe we'll do Europe. Maybe we'll do Europe.
Yeah.
We went to Europe. We went to Europe recently just on vacation, but this tour is crazy. We're doing 90 days, 23 cities. It's a quarter of the entire year on the road without coming home.
Yeah.
It's a test. Like, it's one of those things. It came up in my mind. That'd be cool to do. So yes, I'm going to go off and do it. You can't think your way through if that's going to work or not. you know, I have no idea. We may go and it might be the greatest thing of all time, or we might hate it.
Yeah.
And 20 cities in, be like, this is I will never do this again in my life, you know. But I don't know until I go and try.
Yeah.
You know, we've done one-off cities. We did Boston. We just did New York. It's awesome. I love it. But can we do 90 days? I don't know. So we're going to go and see. So if we love it, it can become an annual tradition. We'll hit up the Eastern U.S. We'll hit up Europe. We'll hit up Asia. Well, every year. This might be my life now.
Yeah.
Or I never do it again. You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Try by doing.
And if we are at this point, so my question is also, how important do you see that actually your partner, in this case Nina, supports everything you're doing and stuff like this? Because that's a very important decision in life, your partner.
I agree, and not just because Nina's sitting right next to me. So, listen, if you have a partner who doesn't support what you do, you're in the wrong relationship.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily need to be in your business, or they need to be in your same field of work, or they need to, you know, be at everything that you do. But if they don't support what you do, then you're in the wrong relationship. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Whatever you do should be with someone who supports you, at least. For something like this, you know, Nina's had a job for the past X years since we've been together, and has just supported me from the sidelines. And to do a tour like this, she was actually the reason why we started this. The tour started with me telling Nina that I would take her to every city in North America with 1 million plus people. That was the start. And then around that came, okay, let me help entrepreneurs. So somebody asked me the other day, would I pick my business or my wife? If it came down to it, would I pick Nina or would I pick my business? And I think they were trying to poke, like they were trying to get a reaction. You know, they wanted to put me in a difficult situation on an Instagram live chat. And my answer was interesting in that I think you need to have a partner who supports you in what you do. So if Nina didn't support my business, we wouldn't be together. Like if I could not do the thing that I love doing because the person that I was with absolutely hated it, we wouldn't even get married. Like we wouldn't even be in a relationship. I don't think you can be with somebody who doesn't support the thing that you do. I think that's really difficult. And I think ultimately your ability to grow with the person is going to be the thing that defines the relationship. Because you may be great together now, but who knows what it's going to be like in 10 years or 20 years. You're both going to grow. You're going to evolve. You're going to be different people than what you are right now. And I think the thing that defines great relationships is your ability to grow and learn together. So you're not growing away from each other. You're growing on the same path. So that being said, though, like I'm doing my tour next month. We're going to hit 23 cities, 90 days. It's going to be crazy. It's me, Nina, Danny. The thing that would jeopardize the tour, like the reason why I would leave the tour early would be because if it impacted my relationship with Nina.
Yeah.
Like if it was taking a toll, if it was between Nina and the tour and like something happened and we just had to, it was ruining our relationship, then I would cancel the tour. I would make it up to everybody who bought tickets and I would go home. So in very acute situations, like if Nina was in a hospital and we were talking right now, I'd be like, Richard, I gotta go. You know,
Yeah.
Nina's in the hospital, I gotta go. And if you couldn't understand that, then whatever, like I'll deal with it. Richard doesn't understand that I need to leave this call to go see Nina in the hospital. Great. Some people may not get it. I think most people would be pretty understanding, but maybe Richard, you know, just doesn't. He's a cold-hearted person who doesn't get it. But in those like acute situations, I would pick my wife over my business. But for our relationship to work, my wife needs to support what I'm passionate about. And so that's how I see it. So it's so important. I think most people have people who don't quite get their partner's ambitions, aspirations, and often we get with somebody and then they change their path and they have to still go find themselves and they're not sure what they want. And so being able to grow with them, I think will help define how strong your relationship ends up being.
Yeah. And when you say the word belief, you know, what are the core values for yourself that are connected to this?
So when you figure out what your one word is, the next step is to figure out your credo. And those are the three things that make up your one word. So for me, believe is about self-confidence, which I think a lot of people would see. So believe in yourself. That's what most people would think about when you say believe. It's also, though, passion. So believing that your work, like believe in the work you're doing, believe in, we're doing this interview, like believe in your interview skills, believe in the work. You have to love what you're doing for it to ultimately have success. And the third one for me is believe that it's going to work out. So believe in the impact that you can have. Believe that even though you're just starting, like I look at my YouTube channel still, like I'm just starting. I still feel like I'm just starting. I believe that it'll have a much bigger impact. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it anymore. Yeah. And so believe in yourself, believe in your work, and believe that it will work out is the, you know, that's what belief means to me.
And what is your huge goal, like your lifetime goal with what you're doing?
So I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem, untapped human potential. I think people either have no idea what they want out of life, or they have found it, but they don't believe in themselves enough to go and chase it down. And so that's what I'm trying to solve. I think it's the world's biggest problem. I'm never going to solve it in my lifetime. And that's exciting. I think you should have a goal, a mission that's bigger than you, that you wake up every day and you try to make it a little bit better. You try to get a little bit closer. So, you know, until the day I die, that's what I'm going to be working on. How I do it will change, whether it's YouTube videos or interviews or, you know, virtual reality and the stuff we talked about at the start. You know, VR Evan coming at you in your face, or a hologram or whatever, that's going to change a lot, but the mission will stay forever.
Yeah. And where do you see actually the most lack in people's self-awareness, or where are the areas where they're lacking it the most?
I think the two biggest areas are, one, your core values. So it's why I wrote the book, Your One Word. I think understanding your most important core value will help you not get pulled in different directions from different people. So mine is believe. Yeah. That's what I do. That's what I create. Every piece of content I make is around belief. Hopefully people get belief from this interview. It's always my intention. Maybe I don't always deliver it. Maybe I didn't do a good job, but it's always my intention going in to everything that I make. So it's always positive. It's always optimistic. If you're going to come watch my interview or my videos or my workshops, you shouldn't leave feeling negative. That would destroy me. You come out feeling like you can do more, and you're able, and you should start, and you should take some action. So I think people don't know what they stand for. They don't know what their core value is, and so as a result, they get pulled by other people. So when your mom says you should go do this, or when your friends or society or someone else says, you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should do that. Maybe that's how I should be. And so you are always trying to please other people and live their life instead of knowing yourself and living your own. And so when you figure out what you stand for, you not only have a more fulfilling life, but you are less likely to be worried about what other people think of you. You know, if you don't like Believe, awesome. You know, great. I'm not trying to convince you that Believe is great. I know it's great for me. And I want to work with people who love Believe too. And if people don't like it, if you're with someone who doesn't like what you're doing, it's easy to say, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe they're right. And then you're constantly lost. But if you have your own compass, if you figure out your one word, your most important core value, things are a lot easier. And then the second component to that is figuring out your why. Like, why do you do what you do? And I think your purpose comes from your pain. If you think back when you're most your darkest days, like you're stupid, any value to the world, whatever that dark day is for you, your greatest joy in life will come from now helping people who are currently going through that. Mm-hmm. So for me, why I love helping entrepreneurs is because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I felt like I was bringing no value. I was putting a ton of work. I had no self-respect, and I eventually got through it. And I still remember those days. Like, it's painful thinking about those days. And the people that I love helping most are the ones who are struggling and experiencing that right now. I would much rather help a struggling startup entrepreneur than somebody who's already made $1 million and is like trying to get to the next level. I can still help that other person, but the startup is the one that I always have my heart in, which is harder because they don't pay. But it's where my heart is, because that's where I struggled the most myself. And so if you think about what did you struggle with the most in life, your greatest joy will come from helping people who are currently struggling in that same way, because you probably have a few answers that can help them, and you probably, even if you listen to them, you might be the only person in the world who's ever listened to them as they talk about their problems, and you actually understand what they're going through. And so when you understand, a lot of people have a hard time going to pain, going to negativity. And so we don't want to do that, especially as entrepreneurs. We're thinking positive, optimistic, future is amazing. But your purpose will come from helping people who are struggling with the pain that you went through. Mm-hmm. And if you can help them pull through that, if you can help take that person who feels low on life and no self-respect and struggling, and you give them a little bit of hope and belief, and you give them some strategies, and you listen to them, and then they start making a change in their life, just like you made a change at some point in your life, that's the thing that will make you feel so full, will make you feel so alive, will make you feel so like, man, like this life is amazing. You know, when you figure that out, you're set for life. And I don't think most people have found that, and that frustrates me. So I want to fix it.
Yeah. And for yourself, for your focus and stuff, do you do actually something like meditation or something like this?
So meditation is really a weird one for me. I believe in meditation. I believe in meditation a lot. I believe the science. I believe it works for people. I've never found that it works for me yet. I've tried lots of different types. I've tried with, apps and YouTube videos. I've tried with one-on-one coaches. I've tried with some of the best in the world at different events, and also one-on-one. And it's relaxing, but when I get through it, I don't feel different than when I did before.
Yeah.
I've tried walking meditation and all sorts, but I believe that it works. A couple of people have told me through my meditation instructors that they feel like I'm always meditating, that I'm in a natural meditative state for most of the time, and so that's why I don't feel as much of a benefit, because I'm not so far off my center, so I don't need to come back to anything because I'm already there. And a part of me believes that that's actually pretty true, but I don't want to accept that as the answer, because then it means you stop searching, because then it means you stop looking for answers. And so I believe that that's probably why it's more difficult for me. I just haven't found the right path yet. So I'm always open to it. and I'm looking forward to finding the right method that's customized for me.
Yeah. Also about a lot of entrepreneurs are really picky about food and about what, you know, what they eat, when they eat it and stuff like this. And what I saw is that you and Nina, you just really enjoy it. Yeah, you eat what you like, when you like, probably. Something like
Well, we you know, we're not, I don't know that we're model citizens there. We Nina's a big foodie. Nina loves her food. For me, I don't care. I would, if I'm hitting a new city, I would, my favorite thing to do in a city is meet local entrepreneurs. I would rather sit down, like, where country are you in?
Austria.
I would rather go to Austria, not even see the town, and just sit with you and other entrepreneurs the whole day, from like 7 in the morning to 9 at night, and just sit and help. And whatever food is there, I'll eat. Like, give me a sandwich. That's it. I don't need to eat anything else. I'll forget to eat. Give me some sandwiches and water, and I'm good. Nina is the opposite, and Danny too, who's asleep in the back seat there right now, is the opposite too, where they love their food. And so, you know, with age, it starts to catch up. I'm 38, so if you eat garbage all day long, it's gonna slow down your body. So what we typically do when we're at home is we eat relatively healthy during the week. It just makes me feel better. So I'm eating, what do we usually eat? Fish and vegetables, and it's still tasty. And I'm fortunate that Nina is a very good cook compared to what I can make myself. And then usually on Saturday we'll eat whatever, and I'll usually go out and I'll book a restaurant or some new place that we haven't been to. Well, we're gonna see how well we do when we travel. We're driving back from New York right now. We ate a lot.
Yeah.
We likely can't keep this kind of pace, but I think trying the local foods is part of what Nina and Danny both enjoy. So we're gonna do it. And I think as long as we don't eat as much snacks and chips and M&Ms and, you know, why are you laughing? Nina's laughing at me right now. Any junk will be okay. So I think you need to enjoy. I think it's good to try new things. You need to watch out about destructive habits. If you're eating 14 chocolate bars a day, you know, that's going to catch up with you as you get older. But at the same time, we're not, you know, I don't have any health scares. I haven't been forced to go all, you know, vegan or any specific diet because I'm allergic to something. So that I've been relatively lucky with that. And I don't know that I'm the model to follow for diet, but I think enjoying your life and what you do is important. So like I enjoy talking to you. Like our first call got disconnected and I feel terrible. It's like the first thing was like, do we have another spot? Do we put Rich in? We have to finish this with Richard. We're not leaving like that. Like this is a Sunday morning still for me here, and I'm driving from New York to Toronto, and this fills me up. Like this makes me feel great, and I could do this the whole way. Like we barely slept last night, and this is what I'm spending my entire drive doing, and I love it. And just taking that approach to everything.
There is also, because you were saying food-wise, is it really in Canada that you can't get raw dairy? Because I have a friend of mine there, and she said you can't get raw dairy legally.
I have no idea. What do you think, Nina? Can you get raw dairy? We don't. We don't eat dairy. That's true. When was the last time we had dairy?
We don't drink milk or anything. Only in coffee.
I'll have milk in my coffee, and that's it.
Okay.
A little bit of milk and coffee, but we haven't had dairy in a long time. Or in like if it's made in desserts or you know if it's part of something, but we don't have dairy. You eat eggs. I don't really eat eggs.
I just started eating.
You just started eating eggs.
Starting to get back.
Yeah, so we don't. Dairy's not a big part. Cheese, we haven't had cheese. Just on like on a pizza on the weekend or something. Yeah, I find that it tastes great, but I find myself being sluggish sometimes when I consume too much dairy. So I haven't missed it.
Yeah.
So I don't know about legals. Here's the thing, Richard. I know very little about most things, and then I know a lot about like 3 or 4 things. So laws in my country, I probably don't know that much about, as long as I don't go to jail for something. You know, even politics, I don't know what's happening in my country. I don't focus on that stuff. But entrepreneurship and like a couple things, I'll know a lot and do a lot, and then most other things I know very little about. So I can look that up about what is it? Not or organic raw. I don't even know what that means. What is raw dairy?
Yeah, what's raw dairy?
Nina's looking it up, and now you got us curious. Now Nina's looking up what is raw dairy. Does it mean not pasteurized?
Yes. Yeah.
Not pasteurized. I don't know. Maybe you could probably get it from like a farmer, but I don't know if you can buy that in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually skip the dairy aisle, so.
Well, probiotics are only found in a small amount of raw dairy.
Yeah.
But when you fermented raw milk to make food, like kefir, yogurt, cheese, that good bacteria dramatically increase.
So you're going after the bacteria. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, once I read something that you wrote, you can learn something from everyone. It doesn't matter who it is. Because there were some controversial people you actually, you know what I mean? Yeah. And
I think so. I mean, that's the starting point of my top 10 videos. The first one was on Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought a lot of people hate on Kanye West, and it doesn't mean that you can't still hate on somebody and there's stuff that you don't like about them, but you can still learn from them. I think people just write people off, and I think often your best learnings come from people who you don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I think your best learnings come from people you don't agree with. And so learn from people that you may hate, I think actually makes you way better. Because if you can only learn from people who fit inside this one little tiny box, then you've boxed yourself in. You've cut off access to learning for yourself.
Yeah.
And so I love Steve Jobs. I have a picture of him on my wall at home. I love how he's a visionary. I don't want to be a father like him. You know, I don't want to be a dad like Steve Jobs was a dad. Great. I won't learn that from him. You know, I'll learn how to be a dad from my dad, and I'll learn how to be a visionary like Steve Jobs. But I won't learn how to be a visionary from my dad. And so I just love learning from people who have something to teach me. And all my videos are always positive. If I do a top 10 on anybody, it's always going to be things that you can actually learn from them, something positive. And so I challenge people to think about who you dislike the most who've had success. And in US, I usually say Barack Obama and Donald Trump, because usually they hate one of them. You either hate Obama or you hate Trump, or you might hate them both, but you don't love them both. Nobody loves them both. So I've done top 10s on both of them. Watch them. Like the person who you hate, go watch them and challenge yourself to learn something from them. If you hate that person, challenge yourself to learn something from them, because they have something to teach you, even if you hate 99% of what they're saying. And that's how I focus on the one. I focus on the 1%, stuff that I can learn, not the 99%. And I think you need to have that approach to grow. I think there's a million reasons why your business is not going to work out. There's a million reasons why that idea of yours is not going to work out. A million. And if you talk to your friends, you can come up with 3 million more. And there's like 8 why it will work out. Yeah. All I focus is on those 8 and not the million. Mm-hmm. And so I think everybody who's had success has something to teach me, and that's all I look for. And I ignore all the stuff that doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
If you read a book, you need like one thing. One page has to hit you from the book. Not every page has to be amazing. You just need one page that means something to you, and it was worth reading that book.
Mm-hmm. And what is success to you, Evan? I mean, what do you really see for yourself as success?
For me, it's being able to do what I want. Like do what I want, when I want, with whom I want. Mm-hmm. To have the freedom to do that. So doing my tour, like I'm closing my usual routine for 3 months to go on this tour. That is success.
Yeah.
Whenever I feel like I can't do something, then I don't feel successful. So it's not just getting 1 million subscribers or 10 million subscribers or whatever the next thing is. For me, it's a feeling. Success is it's a feeling. Do you feel successful? Not a milestone.
Yeah.
I got 1,000 downloads on my podcast, or like whatever number. It's not actually you'll feel successful for a second, and then you won't feel successful anymore because you got something else to chase. So success comes from the habits. Success comes from the feelings that you have about yourself. And as long as I can do something that I feel like I'm in control, and I get to pick, and I get to spend time on the projects that I feel are important, then I feel successful.
Mm-hmm. So it's also about your relationship, your kids, that you have a good relationship, and also to both of them, like of kids.
Yeah, all of it. That I get to choose to do my life, right? That I get to choose. That Nina gets to join in on this. I probably would have gone to New York if Nina didn't want to come, but I wouldn't go do the 90-day tour if Nina didn't want to come.
Yeah.
So it's figuring out, what does life look like for you? What does that ideal life look like for you in terms of the habits that you're spending your time on? What does your weekly calendar look like? And making sure your actions map to your ambitions. And can I go off and do that? Or am I feeling boxed in? Am I feeling restricted? Am I feeling like I can't do that? Somebody's holding me down. That would make me feel unsuccessful.
Yeah. So for the last question, Evan, do you have anything you want to ask our viewers? The people.
I want to know, do they leave a comment? Like, can they put a comment down below, or where can they leave feedback?
Sure, at YouTube, yeah. I'm going to put it at YouTube, yeah.
First off, if you guys like this, give Richard some love, subscribe to his channel, share this video. If you've enjoyed his content, I think people should help each other out more. And if you got any value from this video or other, or maybe you hate this one, but you love Richard and he's given you value before, then just spread the love. Like, spend a little time to leave a comment and share it with your friends. It makes a big impact as people are growing their channel. And it just feels great to help somebody else out. The question I would ask people to leave in the comments below would be, how are you going to make today count? I think it's easy to be patient with yourself and impatient with the results. And I think you need to flip it. I think people say, yeah, you get so frustrated. I haven't hit my goal. I haven't gotten the results. When are the results going to come? But then you're really patient with yourself, and you'll say, oh, okay, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to that tomorrow. I'll get to that. I'll wait till January 1st. Like, Happy New Year today. Today's your new year. Don't wait till January 1st. Go, put it out. If you get inspired by something, then you have to go take action immediately. And the way that I try to approach it is, I want to create things that I'm proud of. I'm proud of this interview. I want to create work. That's what I go in. I come into everything I make saying, I want to be proud of this. I want to be proud of today. Before I put my head on the pillow, before I close my eyes, I want to be proud of how I spent my time today. Mm-hmm. And I think people just waste time. I think if you, no matter what time of day you're listening to this, if you said, I want to make myself proud today, but there's still time. I'm not sleeping yet. You're listening to this interview, so you're not sleeping yet. How can I make myself proud today? And if you did that every day, if you woke up with that intention that today I want to make myself proud, your life would be so dramatically different 1 year from today. It doesn't mean every day you will make yourself proud. It doesn't mean every day you will make a great interview or a great video or a great shoe or whatever you're doing. You may not always win every day, but if that's your intention every day, that I'm going to make something today that will make myself proud, man, your life is about to explode. So let me know how you're going to make today yourself proud. You're going to make yourself proud today. Put that in the comments below and give Richard some love.
Yeah, thank you very much, Evan, for your time and for the interview. And I hope maybe one day we see in person. Maybe you want to do a tour in Europe, or you want to do something in Austria, just let me know. Or I'll show you around. If you and Nina are coming, then let's get some good food or something.
I definitely want to come to Austria. It's on the list. It's beautiful, I've heard. And I haven't been there yet. I've been to Europe a bunch of times, but never Austria. So when we come, we'll do something. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Cool, because there's a lot of art and stuff and good food. If you like that, then you're in the right place.
All right, Nina, good food. He said the magic words, good food.
Yeah.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate the love, man.
Thank you very much. Have a nice Christmas. And yeah, all the best for you.
Man.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.